Welcome at JAX 2012, right here in San Francisco. I'm very happy to meet here Cliff and Brad from Accurev. And we've been talking about an interesting idea they have, and they have also some interesting technology which aims to bring together the wild, Git-driven open source world on the one hand, and the enterprise on the other hand. Could you please explain how does this work?
Yeah, so what we've seen is that enterprises have always had to follow stringent rules and processes for getting their products out the door. Right? They need controls, audit compliance, security, as well as the ability to manage the entire development process. But there's been a huge trend, obviously, for developers in the open source world to use Git. They like the disconnected use, they like the speed, the power of the branching and merging. So there's been a lot of pressure within organizations to either, because of incorporating the Linux kernel into their development environment, or working on Android projects, or working with partners that are using Git, as well as a lot of developers really putting pressure on the organization that they want to, just as a personal preference, use Git. Well, as we know, Git is great, it fosters a lot of change, it's really great for the developer, but it introduces a lot of chaos, a lot of risk. Really, it's great for change, rapid amounts of change, but the organization can't handle that kind of risk. So they have to, what we do is we marry the two systems together, sort of a hybrid model, where the developers are free to use Git if they want, and then Accurev then takes their changes that they've developed in Git and puts them into the rest of the system where we allow you to visually model the entire development process. So you get control, visibility, dev leads, team leads, architects, managers, system leads. They all have the ability to monitor the entire process and really regain control of that Git chaos, right? But it doesn't interfere with the Git developers. Your developers should be writing code, they should be working as fast as possible, making lots of changes. We want to encourage that, we allow that use of Git, and then we just bring those changes into our entire process.
And the great thing is that we're building on several years of reliable, enterprise-ready, scalable, secure platform in Accurev for these Git users. So it's exactly what management wants to see.
At the end of the day, everybody gets what they want. The developers get Git, and management and the people that are in charge of getting the code out the door, they get what they need as in the enterprise.
So what's the difference, first of all, from the developer perspective to, let's say, pure Git?
That's a great question. For the developers, there is no difference.
Not a short answer.
Nothing. I mean, it's just Git for them. Any tools that they like to use with Git, any processes they like to follow with Git, it all just works the same as it always has.
It's a natural Git process.
Yeah, it's very natural. It's very natural.
And from the other side, from the perspective of the team leader, from the architect, etc. So he's maybe used to work already with Accurev.
Yep.
What does change?
Absolutely nothing. So the changes that show up in Accurev, whether they came in natively through Accurev or they came in via a Git client, look and feel just as if they originated in Accurev. So it's really it's a perfect synchronization between the two models, and everybody uses the tools that they're natively used to using.
Okay. Sounds a bit like bringing fire and water together. So maybe you've got an example of a successful implementation in some company?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have many companies that are using, large enterprises using Accurev, and a lot of them, what they've had to run into is with projects or certain developers, that they want to use Git. So they might be using a couple thousand users using Accurev, right? But they're working, on bringing in the Linux source code into their environment that they're embedding into their products. Well, they had before were copying changes back and forth between, what they would modify in the Linux kernel and put it in an Accurev, make changes in Accurev, resubmitting them back into the open source world. This completely automates that whole process, saving them lots of time, takes all scripting right out of the picture.
This product's been out for just a couple of months, and we've got about a dozen or so accounts that are using it, and they use it. Some are using it without legacy Accurev users, and others are using it to integrate in with Accurev users. So.
Maybe last question, what's the learning curve for using that kind of hybrid system?
Nothing for the Git user.
Yeah, it's just
nothing for the Git user.
Download Git and go. And then on the Accurev side, if they're already used to using Accurev, nothing changes. Right? If they want to become an Accurev power user and they've never seen it, right? It's a very short. We have short courses for those folks to get them kickstarted. But for the Git, on the Git side of the house, it's download Git. If you got a question, go to Stack Overflow and figure out what syntax you need and get to do a patch or whatever. It's the same as they'd always be used to.
For a high-end administrator, it's between 1 and 2 days. If they've got experience with tools like ClearCase, it can be less than a day.
Okay. So, Cliff, Brett, thank you very much.
Thank you.